All right, hello everyone. Welcome back. I have another really powerful topic to talk to you about, another Holocaust survivor. This time a man named Dr. Jacob Eisenbach. He was a dentist till he was 92 years old, and he was born in 1923. I've had the pleasure to meet him and talk to him several times. I've heard his testimonials, and he is an absolute inspirational figure who went through such darkness in his life and is still one of the most optimistic, hopeful people you could ever meet. And that's what I want to kind of focus on in this short lecture is this hope that you get from this darkness of the Holocaust. This image is another one of these beautiful photos we have from Clifford Lester and part of our remembertheholocaust.org project that we have at Cypress College. I'll give you the link at the end of this again. But the story of Eisenbach is absolutely stunning, and he is from Poland, so he is from the center of where the most horrific things of the Holocaust happened. We know that there were 6 million Jews murdered during the Holocaust. And one of the things I emphasize so often with my students is that the generation that went through the Holocaust is almost gone. And so if you're a college student now and you have a chance to listen to a Holocaust survivor and have a chance to go visit and talk to them and meet them, please do that, because you know what, their children will not have that chance. If you're 20 years old and you have a child one day, your child probably will never have a chance to meet a survivor. And so it's so vital now to hear their stories and get those testimonials so they could spread those stories onto their kids in the future. So one of the ideas he talks about in terms of the darkness that he faced during the Holocaust, he comes from a family of 100 people. And out of his family of 100 people, only 5 survived. All of the other 95 were murdered during the Holocaust. He was living in a ghetto. He managed to hide in the ghetto and not be taken to Auschwitz to be murdered. But he talks about how so many of his family members, that was the fate they faced. The things he describes are so dark and so horrific about, the smell of burning flesh that comes from Auschwitz. He also talked about, a sense of there's no way to fight. There was, one of his testimonials talked about there was no weapons, there was no guns in the ghetto that he was put in, where people couldn't even fight the Nazis. There were actually some ghettos, like in Warsaw, where people smuggled in weapons and they were able to try to fight and resist a little bit. But for the most part, a lot of these ghettos, there was no chance to fight. You had no chance to even defend yourself. And so he's living this life, this nightmare where his entire family is taken away from him. And if you have a chance to hear his entire story, it is so heart-wrenching. Yet, despite all of that he went through, he still finds optimism. And so the question is where does he find optimism from such darkness? And these are the things Dr. Eisenbach talks about. So one of the ideas about how he finds optimism, there's a few ways he talks about this, is he believes people are generally good and most people can be redeemed. Now, he makes it very clear in one of his testimonials, not everyone. He talks about people like Eichmann and say, there's a level of evil some people have that they can never be redeemed. But for the most part, he believes people are good. He also talks about other ways he believes that this optimism, resonated with him. And one is a very personal story to his own life, which I kind of resonates with me as a father as well, because he said that, as the war was happening, as a young child, and even after the war, he always remembered his mom's words to him. And he said his mom always told him that, he was her most precious gift. And from a beautiful person like a mom is to a child, he said that gave him value, that gave him purpose. And that in itself is such a little powerful story of human connection that is so important as we raise children to think about and how we raise children. Another idea he talked about is this concept of the righteous Gentile. He says this gives him optimism as well. And the righteous Gentile are the individuals the Gentile, the non-Jews, who risk their lives to save the Jewish people. And one story that comes up very often is the story of the King of Denmark, Christian X. And there's a legend, actually, the legend of the King of Denmark during the war. And the story is that he, as the king of Denmark, told the Nazis that if they ever invade Denmark, all the Jewish people and the non-Jewish people in Denmark will wear Star of Davids, including himself. So when the Nazis come in, they can't tell who's Jewish and who's not Jewish, and that, we're all Jews, and you can't distinguish between anybody. And it was a way to protect the Jewish people. And it's a powerful story. It's a legend. It's actually not true. But many people believe it's true. And the reason people believe it's true is because of what Denmark did during the Holocaust, which was risk their lives, which was protect Jewish people as best as they possibly could. And so, to this day, people in Israel love the people in Denmark because they still remember what the people in Denmark did to try to protect the Jewish people. So these are the ideas. This is where he says you can find optimism from. And in one of his other testimonial, he talks about no matter how dark things may get, he says, there's always the sun is going to shine through. And that quote of his always stayed with me. And, it's because if you think of our lives day to day, for what all the challenges that people have and for all the difficulties people have, if a man like Dr. Eisenbach can go through this nightmare and still come out feeling optimistic, becoming a successful dentist, meeting thousands and thousands of young people and talking to them, it gives all of us hope. It gives all of us a sense of inspiration. And that's why of all the Holocaust survivors I've met and I've talked to, he is one that I definitely want to do a story about because it's just such a powerful story and so inspirational. So again, if you get a chance to listen to him and learn more about him, please do. And so this is something we keep doing in our, Remember the Holocaust project. So I really encourage you, again, to go get more information. Again, the website is remembertheholocaust.org. Again, this photo by Clifford Lester. And you can watch more of my lectures on World War II as well. And he is an amazing individual. Again, if you get a chance to ever hear Dr. Eisenbach, please do so. He's inspirational, he's motivational, and he's just an amazing human being. All right. Well, thank you again for listening, and please feel free to share this. And I want as many people in the world to hear these stories of these survivors and how much they inspire people. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.